Right, so we're here today at the Glebe fishery in Leicestershire, where recently I was very fortunate to break the venue record with £438. Now obviously it's a massive weight and it was a really good day and it was a day to remember. But I've had a lot of people asking me sort of how did I approach the day, what rigs did I use, why did I do certain things. So what I thought I'd do is I'll come down and do a video and show you exactly what I did on the day. So starting off the day, I set a lot of lines up. I sort of set some pellet lines up, some waggle rods, some bomb rods, quite a bit of everything, because in that sort of time we're having cold mornings and hot days, so I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. But in the back of my mind, with the hot weather forecasted, I sort of thought mugging was going to be the best method. So I started short on pellets actually on the day. I was expecting maybe a couple of fish, but I never had a single bite. So this straight away told me it was definitely not going to be a fishing on the bottom day at school, going to be shallow and mugging. So obviously in the meantime I saw a few fish cruising up in the water and had a good idea to go out. So I shipped out with my mugging rig and I never looked back for 5 hours. It was absolutely solid. And then sort of in the last hour it sort of went a bit funny, so I went up to the banks to my left on casters and caught a really good run of fish there, and obviously I ended up with £438, which set the venue record, won the match. Brilliant day. So what I'll do now is I'll run for the two rigs that are actually the best on the day. Now I did set up obviously like a few like I said, but they didn't really come into it. I just set them up and they never got used. It just weren't the day for them, but I just had them there as an option. So let's run through the rigs. So we'll start off with the mugging rig. Now this was obviously the key rig really, catching the massive weight. So what would I start off with? The elastic. So elastic wise, I've got 15 jaw slip now. I absolutely love this elastic now. It's nice and soft on the strike, but it powers up really nicely, so it just seems to be able to control the fish. So I really like that elastic now, and also because it's solid, it's very durable, so even if it does fray a bit or perish, it's not going to break. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're coming on to the main line. Now as you can see, between the pole tip and float I've got 3 foot of line. Now I find this just a nice length when I'm mugging, because obviously you've got enough control on the actual rig because it's only 3 foot of line, but any longer I sometimes feel like you don't get the same control when you're flicking to fish. You're not sure where the float is at times, and I just find 3 foot a nice length. The fish don't get spooked, but it's also user friendly, so that's why I go for 3 foot. The main line itself, it's 0.22 main line. Now I don't like to mess about here. The fish can absolutely pull your heads off, so just don't mess about the main line. Nice strong durable main line. You're looking to catch big weights, so that's why I go with 0.22. Now when it comes to the float, I've just got a point to it. So I think it's a Timmy Moore shallow float, I think they're called. Now it's a nice sort of little diamond shallow float. I'll do a little close up of the rig after this video so you can see exactly what it looks like. Now it's like a little sort of diamond sort of shape. It's a lovely little float. It just plops in like a pellet, and I think this is really important. You don't want a big float, it's going to scare the fish. I think you just want a nice little quiet plop, but also enough weight in the float to swing at the fish. So 0.2 is absolutely perfect. Now I've set my actual mugging rig at 1 foot deep. Now this seems a really good sort of depth to start at. You can go shallow and you can go deeper, so it's all about on the day, but on the day I didn't need to change it from 1 foot deep, so that's what I started on. Now under the float I've just literally got 3 number 9s, which is just enough to cock the float to the bristle, and then obviously the weight of the pellet takes it down perfectly sort of to half the bristle. Now I have that directly under the float, and then as you can see I've got a 6-inch hook link, no shot down the line, just a 6-inch hook link. Now I've just got a 16 SMWG and a hair rig bait band, which I'm going to be using sort of robin red pellets, but I've also sometimes catch on sort of 6mm just conventional pellets. I find them really good, so I just like to have a bit of everything on my side trend, just try and find what's best on the day. So that's my mugging rig. Let's hook that up. Now my caster line for the last hour I actually caught shallow at the bank. Now on this peg up the bank it's about 3 foot deep, so I sort of felt, I did set a deck rig up, but I felt it just wasn't going to be the one on the day, because obviously I started short and it just wasn't right, no bites, which is quite unusual for it at the Glebe, so I just decided to go with a shallower approach. So on the actual day itself I actually set up 2 shallow rigs. So I set one at 1 foot deep and one at 2 foot deep, so that just covers my shallow rig options. And I can also use that 2 foot rig, I can shove it down and use it as a bit of a flick rig if they are spooking off the pole tip. So start with elastic. Now on the actual day I did fish 15 jaw slip, but if I fished it again it was a bit too light, because obviously I've got a lot of brambles and the shooter at the bank, so I needed something a bit heavier to pull them away. So if I was fishing it again I'll just fish the 17 jaw slip, which I've got on here. It's absolutely perfect, powers up nice, it's great elastic. Main line exactly the same, 0.22, not messing about. Obviously line tip between float, this is my actual foot foot deep rig, which was best on the day because it was very hot, the fish were very shallow, but got literally a foot of line between the pole tip and float. Now I can actually shove it up and like almost put it into the reeds if I need to, but on the day I didn't need to do that. I could just get away with this, so I just stuck with that. Now when it comes to shotting, I've got exactly on the float, I've got exactly the same float. I've just got a 0.2 shallow float, exactly the same float I use as mugging. Now the difference is with the shotting with shallow, like a lot of people like a sort of a bulk and on the hook link strung bulk, but for carp I like to actually put all the shot under the hook link, under the float, sorry. So I've got 3 number 9s under the float directly. Now I've just literally got no shot down the line, so I've just literally got a 6-inch hook link and a 16 XS spade hook. Now it's almost like a 14, so it's perfect for 3 or 4 maggots, but as you can see I've almost got like a free line going down, which I think is really important because carp like watching the bait down. Obviously they can follow it, and I'm not going to get like silly like F1y type bites. The whole thing just goes under and it's on. So that's why I like a bit of a longer sort of hook, almost hook link if you like, so the rig can just fall naturally. So that's why I've chose that rig. Now what I'll do now is I'll run through the baits. So when it comes to bait on the day, I like to keep it dead simple. So my plan was hard pellets, so 6mm pellets, carp pellets and casters. Now on the day the 6mm pellets just didn't work, obviously because of the conditions, so my match has basically spent a lot of it mugging. So in this little pot here, I'll do a little close up, I've just got some 6mm and 4mm Robin Red pellets which you can use just on the up for mugging. I always find the 6mm better, but 4mm sometimes on the day can be really good when the fish get a bit spooky. So just had a pot of them on my side tray and used most of the match, to be fair. I did actually catch a couple on 6mm carp pellets, but they were the better bait on the day. And as you can see, you don't need the best casters, but I had loads of casters and I just blast them up the bank, dead simple. Now I fed quite a lot of these last hour, sort of rafted them in and sort of made them in go to a frenzy. Sort of fed probably 3 pints in the last hour, just proper rafted them in, and it seems to go more nuts as I fed them almost. And hook bait wise, for when I'm fishing caster shallow, I just put 3 or 4 dead maggots on the hook, dead simple. Now I have tried caster on the hook, but I always find dead maggots better. So as you can see, it's a nice simple day. So what I'll do now is I'll do a bit of fishing and talk you through the day. Right, so I'm going to start the session by mugging like I did on the match. So I've just got a 6mm Robin Red in the band, so let's try and catch one. I can see a few fish milling about, especially down that banking where that bit of wind's flowed in, so I'm just going to ship out to there. Literally going to try and land it about a foot in front of one. The light's not brilliant at the minute because obviously it's evening, but I'm just going to try and land it about a foot in front of one like that. I've not had it that one, but I'll try and get another one like that. We just caught that one by flicking it at its nose. As you can see, it's tore off into the lake, but that 15 jaw slip's getting under control. Just take your time with it, there's no rush. So it's started to get under control now, so I'm just going to break off on the top 6, which I like to do when I'm here at the Glebe, because the fish can all of a sudden bolt off quick. So if you need to add sections, I think it's best to have a top 6 behind you so you can just stop getting broke. So just get it to the top kit like that, give it a few strips on the puller kit, let's get it under control. It just piles up nice, bring it in. It went a bit mad then. That's why you need them extra sections though, in case. I can do that here. They seem to have seems to be able to turn the pace quick somehow. Don't know what Roy feeds them, but they seem to bolt off. As you see, they just pop up like that. So that's a nice fish, probably 5 or 6 pound. So as you can see though, like it literally took seconds to catch one, and that's why it's such an effective method. So what I'll do now is I'll try and catch one on the casters, show you how I did that. Right, so just caught one on the mugging rig. So what I'm going to do now is try and catch one on the caster shallow line to end the session. So I've got 3 dead reds on the hook, and like I spoke about earlier, my rig's about a foot deep, which I'm going to start at. So I feed a few casters before I go out, and I've obviously primed it for a bit to try and get a few fish in the peg so I can catch one for you. Now distance wise, I've chosen to fish 40 metres at the bank. I think the fish just feel a bit safer, a bit further away from you, and I think 40 metres is a nice distance for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove my rig as far under the cover as I can, so the reeds, and I'm just going to try and wait for a bite for a few seconds without feeding. So I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up as well. I've got a lot of float bristles showing. Now this is to try and read them proper bites. You don't want to be striking at line bites, you don't want to be foul hooking them. You can see, just shot under, no little dips or anything. It's pulling it like mad. No little dips or anything, just a proper bite and the fish is on in the mouth. Simple as that. Now, like I spoke about again, I like to break down at 6 metres. So if that fish does have another run, I can just follow it out and not get broke. So I'd just like to get it to the top kit. Now, as you can see, the 17 draw slip's got it nice and under control. Just get a few strips, lift it up, nearly had it. Hopefully it'll pop up now. And then needs another strip of the puller. As you can see, they go crazy, these fish, so that's why you can't use light lines and little hooks or anything like that. So need proper kit. As you can see, it's not the biggest fish for the Glebe standards, but they all go mad. You can see, nice fish, probably 4.5, 5 pound. So just unhook it and slip him back. So I'll tell you what, we'll try and catch another one for you. So same again, 3 red maggots on the hook, dead reds. Another thing as well, when I'm hooking the dead reds, I like to hook them through the thin end now, just so it's got less chance of wrapping around the hook and you're losing the fish. So that's why I like to do that. Same again, feed some casters to the reeds before you ship out. Ship out to your mark. Take your time, no rush. If you rush, you can tangle your little shallow rig, so it's just not worth it. Same again, I'm just going to shove my rig as far under the reeds as I can get. Just get a few seconds and try and wait for a bite. Another thing as well, if I wasn't getting bites, then I would just keep going deeper and deeper until they found the fish, even fish on the bottom. So you can see there's another one. So no messing about, proper bites. But as I was saying, I'd have obviously a 2-foot rig and then my deck rig with 3 foot. So if I wasn't catching, it could drop on the bottom and fish either like a big worm or a bunch of maggots. So that's the beauty of fishing casters, sort of down this edge. You've got options of fishing shallow and on the bottom. Take your time with it. I think this is decent fish. I'll try and net it the camera size so you can see the fish. As you can see, there's a nice fish, 17 draw slip, doing the business. It's probably again 4 to 5 pound. So I was just slipping back. So I think we'll call that to the end of the session. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos, tight lines.